Hello everyone, I hope you are well at home. Today we are going to start the second part of your chapter number 11, that is Human Eye and the Colorful World. Here are the topics which we are going to discuss in this video. Reflection of light through a glass prism, tracing the path of light passing through a prism, dispersion of white light by a glass prism, composition of white light, formation of rainbow, cause of dispersion of light. Okay. Now move to the first topic, that is refraction of light through a glass prism. What is glass prism? First we are going to discuss that. Actually the glass prism is the very suitable example I want to give you is a dome's eraser. You all might be having the dome's eraser. It is exactly look like this figure. Yes. Okay, a glass prism consists of non-parallel refracting surfaces. Actually these are the non-parallel one. It is in the shape of a heart. These are the refracting faces, if you can see here, isn't it? These are the refracting faces. So a glass prism consists of non-parallel refracting surfaces. It is a transparent medium bounded by two plane surfaces inclined at some angle as shown in the figure. So they are forming any angle here, and this angle is known as angle of prism. Okay, where these two refracting faces meet, these are the two refracting faces. Let me tell you the names of refracting faces, that is ADFC. ADFC, can you see this rectangle here? This is one refracting face, another one is ABED. ABED is the another refracting face, and where these two faces meet, they forms a refracting edge. That means AD is the refracting edge. Okay, then there is a base also on which it is standing, that is base of prism. It is already mentioned here. This BCFE is the base of the prism. So basically a prism is a glass prism consisting of non-parallel refracting surfaces. It is a transparent medium bounded by two plane surfaces inclined at some angle as shown in the figure. A prism consists of two triangular surfaces and three rectangular surfaces. Two triangular surfaces, if you can see this one and this one. ABC and DEF are the two triangular surfaces and they are bounded with three rectangular surfaces. Okay, this is known as a principal section. That is why we have been given this name a triangular prism. Okay, now now we are going to study about how to trace the path of rays of light through a glass prism. How the light rays travels through a glass prism. Now through a video we are going to discuss that, and to find an angle of deviation for different angles. Okay.
Need a prism, drawing board, sheet of white paper, paper pins and drawing pins. Fix the sheet of white paper on drawing board with the help of drawing pins. Then we place the prism along its triangular base on the middle of the paper. Mark the boundary ABC of the glass prism. We remove the prism and draw a normal LM at point Q on side AB. Draw ray PQ making an angle of 30 degrees with the normal. Fix two pins P1 and P2 on ray PQ. We place the prism back on ABC. Look at the images of P1 and P2 through the side AC. Fix two more pins P3 and P4 on this side such that pins P3 and P4 and images of P1 and P2 appear to be on a straight line. Remove the prism and pins. Draw a line towards side AC through the points of pins P3 and P4. Call them S and R. It will intersect AC at point R. We draw a normal or perpendicular on side AC through point R. Extend ray PQ and ray SR on opposite sides to intersect each other at point K. Measure the angle between these two rays PQ and SR, which is angle of deviation D. Angle PQL is angle of incidence, angle MQR is angle of refraction, and angle SRY is angle of emergence. Record angle of incidence, angle of refraction and angle of deviation, that is I, R and D, for 30 degrees.
Now next is dispersion of white light through a glass prism. That means we will allow a white light or a sunlight to fall on one side of the prism, and then after refraction through its two refracting surfaces, you know that the two refracting surfaces are the two rectangular faces. After refraction through these two refracting surfaces, this white light will split into 7 colors of rainbow. And how can we learn these rainbow colors? You might have learned in your previous classes also, that is Vibgyor. Vibgyor, that means violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. That means that white light is a collection of 7 colors of rainbow. And you know what? This band of 7 colors is known as spectrum or the visible spectrum. Okay, this white light will split into, as you can see in the diagram here, this white light which is allowed to fall on one refracting surface of the prism will split up first at this interface. It will split up into these many colors, and then at this surface it will further split into with more wavelength. Actually here the medium is getting changed. First it will move from air to glass, then there is refraction, and there will be deviation in angle of these 7 colors. Actually this white light is a composition of 7 colors, and each color is having different wavelength. That is why it splits into 7 colors with different angles and hence show a rainbow. So the phenomena of splitting of white light into its 7 colors on passing through the prism is known as dispersion of light. Okay, and every light, every color is having different wavelength. Just see in this figure, every color is having different wavelength. Okay, that is why it will split up with different wavelength. Let me show you the different wavelength, the composition of these wavelength. Okay, white light is a mixture of 7 colors, that is Vibgyor: violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. Hence white light consists of 7 different wavelengths. White light is not a single wavelength. Actually it is a collection of 7 different wavelengths. Wavelengths of violet color is minimum and the wavelength of red color is maximum. That is why you can see the different deviation in all the 7 colors.
When a white light, like sunlight, incident on a prism, then the light rays splits up into many colors, broadly 7 colors. This phenomenon of splitting up of light into its component colors is called as dispersion of light. When the dispersed light rays are passed through another prism but in the inverted position, then the dispersed light rays merges once again to form white light.
Light of a single wavelength is known as monochromatic light, and the light consisting of more than one wavelength like our sunlight is known as polychromatic light. Each color is having different wavelength. As you can see, each color is having different wavelength, and like I have given here in angstrom. Angstrom is the unit of wavelength, and if you want to convert it into meters, it is 10 to the power minus 10 meter. 1 angstrom is equals to 10 to the power minus 10 meter. Actual SI unit of wavelength is angstrom only. Okay, so the color with maximum wavelength will experience least bending. If you can see in the diagram, let me show you that slide. In this, the minimum deviation is experienced by red color and maximum deviation is experienced by violet color. Do you know why? Because the speed of red light in when it passes from one medium to another decreases. So speed of red color is maximum. Why? Because the wavelength lambda of red color is maximum. Okay, that means if the wavelength increases, there will be a decrease in the angle of deviation, and if the wavelength decreases, there will be an increase in the angle of. The wavelength of violet color is minimum. That is why it will experience a greater deviation in its angle, and there will be less speed of violet color as compared to red. That means they both are directly proportional to each other. What? Lambda, that means wavelength, and the speed of the light. Speed and the wavelength are directly proportional to each other. That is why red is having greater speed as compared to violet. It is having greater wavelength as compared to violet, but it is having least deviation, as you can see in the diagram. Okay. Through this also you might be getting that violet is having the least wavelength. That is why it will experience the greater deviation, but its speed is lesser or least as compared to other 7 colors. So monochromatic and polychromatic is also clear to you. Move to the next topic. Now before moving further to find the formation of rainbow, we just understand the topic total internal reflection. What is total internal reflection? Total internal reflection, as you can see in this figure, I think this is a little blur, but you can see the red rays, the blue rays and the yellow one. Yes, I think so. So this is angle of incidence going from a denser medium to a rarer medium. So this refracted ray will will refract away from the normal, will go away from the normal, and the reflected ray, there is a reflection also, partial reflection, that will go inside the prism only. Okay, now move to the second figure. Here in this, the angle, there might be some angle of incidence. Yes, this red light you can see, the red line, this is angle of incidence. I have increased the angle of incidence now. If you will compare these two figures, angle of incidence is increased now. So the refracted ray will also increase. The angle of refraction will also increase. Now it will increase. Now we will increase the angle of incidence this much that refracted ray will be perpendicular to this surface. Will be parallel to this surface, or you can say the angle of refraction will be of 90 degree. Okay, at that point, that angle of incidence is known as. If we will further increase the angle of incidence, this angle of refraction, instead of being above the surface, it will reflect inside the surface only. It will be clear with the second figure. In this first figure, here there is a weak reflection. We are saying there might be some angle of incidence, there might be some angle of refraction. We will increase the angle of incidence this much that angle of refraction will become 90 degree. At that point, the angle of incidence is known as critical angle. Now we will increase it further. Now we will increase it this much that angle of refraction will be greater than 90 degree, and that time it is known as total internal reflection, because now it is reflecting, because it is coming back in the same medium. This is known as total internal reflection. Now this phenomena we are going to use for the formation of a rainbow. Okay, now there are some laws of refraction for the total reflection to occur. Total internal reflection to occur. That is, the ray of light must be traveling from a dense medium to rarer medium. This is going from denser medium to the rarer medium, as you can see in the figure. Water to air, or from glass to air, it is going from denser medium to rarer medium. This is the first law. Second law is the angle of incidence must be greater than the critical angle. This angle of incidence is greater than the critical angle. What is critical angle? Critical angle is that incident angle at which the angle of refraction is of 90 degree. So angle of incidence should be greater than the critical angle, then only the total internal reflection will occur. Clear? Now we will move to the formation of rainbow. How does a rainbow form? When a white light or a sunlight falls on tiny raindrops, then it splits into 7 colors after facing refraction. Because as the sunlight will enter from rarer to the denser medium, from air to water, it will face refraction here at this point. It will split into 7 of its colors. Again it will reflect back when at this interface, when it will reflect back, so it will form the angle of incidence is greater than the critical angle, and hence again it will reflect and split up into 7 colors. So what are the 3 processes here? Rainbow is formed by dispersion, that means the light ray will disperse. Then there will be total internal reflection. Now there is total internal reflection, and there will be refraction of light. So there will be first dispersion, then total internal reflection, and then again refraction of light. This is how a rainbow is formed. Now there are few conditions for observing rainbow. That is, sun must be behind the back of the observer, and rainbow can be observed during rain. Means sun should be at your back. This is the first condition. Second condition is there should be rain. Rainbow can be observed during rain, after rain, or when we look at a fountain. अगर हम किसी fountain को देख रहे हो तब. Okay, so it will, the formation of rainbow follows 3 processes, that is dispersion of light, total internal reflection, and then again refraction of light. Now move to another topic, cause of dispersion of light. That means why this light disperses into 7 colors. Actually white light consists of 7 colors, and each color has its own characteristic wavelength. Since they are having different wavelengths, that is why they travel with different speeds in different mediums. Okay, in air or vacuum, as it is written here, in air or vacuum, all the colors present in white light travel with the same speed. But when these colors travel in a medium other than air, then they travel with different speeds. Okay, how it travels with different speeds? They travel with different velocity. The speed of color depends directly on its wavelength. As it is shown here, the speed of the velocity, or the velocity of the velocity of any color is directly proportional to its wavelength. That means if the wavelength increases, velocity will also increases. We know that the wavelength of red is maximum. That is why its wavelength, its velocity is also maximum. So it goes with the maximum speed through any medium. It means red colors move faster than the violet color in the glass prism. That is why different color travels with different speeds in different mediums. Okay, so we know that the refractive index of medium is given by n is equals to c upon v. We know that n is equals to c upon v. N means refractive index. Index of c is speed of light in vacuum, and v is the speed of light of that light means any color here. So n is inversely proportional to v. That means if the speed of red is maximum, that means its refractive index is minimum. I am repeating it again, that refractive index is inversely proportional to velocity. That means if velocity increases, refractive index decreases. We know that velocity of red is maximum, so its refractive index is minimum. It means refractive index of a prism is not constant for each color. Means it is not same for each color, it is not constant for each color. Refractive index for violet is maximum, and for red it is minimum. क्योंकि minimum इसलिए क्योंकि रेड कलर की स्पीड सबसे ज़्यादा होती है, दैट इज़ वाई उसका रिफ्रैक्टिव इंडेक्स सबसे कम होता है. सिमिलरली रिफ्रैक्टिव इंडेक्स ऑफ ग्लास प्रिज्म इज डिफरेंट फॉर डिफरेंट कलर्स. Okay, due to this reason, different colors suffer different amount of refraction at the refracting faces of the prism. That is why when the light ray enter to the prism, it suffers with it splits into different colors, because there are 7 lights in white light, so they travel with different speed and the different deviation they used to show. This angle of deviation depends upon, it means the angle of deviation is different for different colors. That means this angle of deviation depends directly on refractive index of glass prism. ठीक है, and inversely on the wavelength. Angle of deviation depends directly on the refractive index and inversely on the wavelength. This is how. Speed of red light is more, that is why its wavelength is more, but its deviation is the least. This is the angle of deviation, delta we call it, and this is wavelength, lambda. Hence red color lies at the top of the spectrum and violet at the bottom of the spectrum, क्योंकि उसमें violet में सबसे ज़्यादा deviation होता है as compared to the red one, as you can see from this. So what is the conclusion here? That different colors of white light travel with different speed. This is called dispersion of light. This is why the dispersion of light occurs. This is here you can see the angle of deviation for violet is the greatest as compared to the red, but the speed of light is more as compared to the speed of violet. Is this clear now?